to make a grand exit. Windsor, England. The Queen passes by in a royal procession. The parade winds its way through a crowded street. But Lance Corporal Paul Salmon is having difficulty controlling his horse, Reevely. Suddenly, the excited beast slams into the Queen's carriage. As officers try to quiet the animal, the horse panics. Watch again. The horse rears back, nearly crashing into the path of a Rolls Royce. Then it plunges down on top of Corporal Salmon. Miraculously, the officer is not seriously injured. He's protected by the steel body armor of his uniform.
This one is where I actually initially fell down and hit the ground at first, and all the rest of it is where the horse has actually fallen on top of me.
Both horse and rider survive, but the incident is dramatic proof of what can happen when frightened animals panic and lose control.
Hi, welcome to America's Great Circus Parade.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Teams of powerful Clydesdales pull antique wagons past thousands of delighted spectators during a circus parade. But then, without warning, the celebration turns to terror. 4 of the huge animals bolt from their harnesses and thunder into the crowd, sending people running for their lives. Watch again. At first, some of the onlookers can't see the 4 horses breaking from their harness. But when they do, it's chaos. The 3,000-pound Clydesdales charge down the street and into the crowd, trampling people and crushing baby carriages. Finally, 2 of the horses slip and fall, bringing the stampede to a crashing halt. Julie Gansky and her children are trapped directly in the path of the wild rampage.
You could hear the sound as it was coming, almost like a train coming from a distance as it gets louder and louder and louder towards you. And then it was just things flying through the air. Everything was just flying.
Emergency crews moving quickly. The babies were pulled from their strollers in time, but many of the adults are too badly injured to move. Julie's husband, Kent, puts his own life in danger. Watch as he bravely steps right into the path of the angry beasts and grabs hold of their bridle. Kent saw how it all started. The Clydesdales were not to blame. They'd been spooked, taunted by spectators perched above the parade route.
Well, I was watching the people from the garage throwing stuff down at these horses. But they could have been bottles, cans, or a water balloon hitting.
The barrage of debris was all it took to make these good horses go bad. Dogs are man's best friend, but even the best trained dogs can become man's worst enemy. Police dogs are trained to be aggressive when encountering dangerous criminals, but sometimes, when they set their sights on their prey, there's no way to stop them. Check out the police dog in this drug bust gone bad. The trained German Shepherd sniffs out a suspect who's hiding under a couch. The terrified man tries to surrender, but the dog goes into a frenzy, tearing at his ankle. One of the cops orders the dog to heel, but it ignores his command and continues its vicious attack.
With all the excitement around the dog, it keeps him pumped up, and with the suspect moving, The more he moves, the more the dog's going to fight back.
An officer grabs the snarling animal by its collar, but the dog refuses to let go. Locked in the canine's jaws, the suspect is dragged across the ground, screaming in agony. Finally, he's pried from the animal's vice-like grip. The suspect is taken into custody, and the officers are able to restrain the dangerous dog.
Admittedly, the dog was a bit tough.
Although police dogs are valuable tools in the fight against crime, there's always a chance that their animal instincts will get in the way of their job. Trained animals also go bad at the rodeo. While most are treated humanely, some are abused. And when that happens, they strike back. In most rodeos, the rules are simple. The riders have to hang on for 8 seconds. But when the bull doesn't want to cooperate, 8 seconds can seem like an eternity. Cowboy Jeff Roberts tries a routine dismount from this ornery bull, but his hand is tied to the bull by a rope. He's stuck, and the bull won't slow down. The terror is clear on Jeff's face. He fears that this could be his last ride. Four rodeo clowns try to stop the stampede, but they can't. It takes twice as many men to calm the beast and free the cowboy. This rider learned the hard way. No man is a match for an angry bull. Nashville, Tennessee. Veteran rider Dewey Hilding is set to take on a mean bronc. It used to be a racehorse, but it was forced against its will into the rodeo ring. Now this cowboy is gonna pay. The furious animal charges out of the gate, bucking and kicking. When Dewey falls, the horse turns on him with its teeth. The cowboy manages to get to his feet, narrowly missing the animal's crushing jaws.
There was no indication he was going to do what he ended up doing. So, you know, I rode him just like any other horse, and then the unexpected happened.
Although the attack was unexpected, it just goes to show what can happen when an animal is pushed too far. Coming up next, performing animals go wild on live TV. The king of the jungle attacks a helpless anchor woman. Plus, diseased monkeys terrorize a frightened neighborhood. And raging bulls out for revenge. Then later, the most horrifying donkey attack ever caught on tape. Plus, Santa Claus under attack by his own reindeer. When good pets go bad. When animals are forced to perform on television, you never know when they'll refuse to follow the script. The French Riviera. A popular television show, 40 Degrees, is broadcasting live from a local zoo. Co-hosts Marie-Ange Nardi and Pascal Coulon are interviewing a trainer about his lion. As Marie-Ange asks about the animal's age, she gestures with her right arm. The lion takes it as an invitation. The beast grabs her arm in his massive paws and twists it mercilessly. But Marie-Ange manages to escape.
I knew something was wrong by the way the lion was looking at me. I told myself to get out of the way and to guard myself, and that's why the lion jumped at my back and not at my face.
After the attack, the show's co-host tells the trainer that this is a bad lion, but the trainer disagrees. He says that the animal just isn't trained to be on television, and he's right. When caged animals see a chance for freedom, they run. Sometimes they run after you. Melbourne, Australia. There's a standoff in the suburbs. An escaped kangaroo has invaded a family's backyard in search of a mate. It sets its sights on the family dog. Wildlife officers move in, careful not to harm either animal. They corner the kangaroo in the bushes, but it refuses to be caught. The animal comes out fighting. It's faster and fiercer than anticipated. It springs across the yard, narrowly avoiding the officer's net. Only a wooden fence stops it from getting away. But it fights back ferociously and lets out a roar that sounds like a lion. Finally, the kangaroo is subdued. The standoff is over, and the family dog is no longer in danger. Homestead, Florida. Police have cornered an escaped laboratory monkey in this quiet residential neighborhood. It's one of 3 monkeys that have fled from a breeding facility. It's feared that the animals may be infected with the deadly simian herpes B virus. One bite, or even a scratch, could mean death to a human.
Okay, I think it is 1 over the 50, heading towards 9th Avenue.
The monkey runs from a rooftop to a utility pole. Now the animal is sitting on top of a high-voltage transformer. If electrocuted, it would not only kill the monkey, but also send a shower of disease across the neighborhood. Animal trapper Todd Hardwick arrives on the scene. He orders the power to be turned off. Then he climbs onto a roof with a tranquilizer gun. But the monkey sees Hardwick and takes off. Hardwick fires and misses. The monkey takes cover in a tree.
He's moving that way now.
Hardwick is lifted in the bucket of a utility truck for a better shot. But the monkey jumps down and scrambles away. Now it's desperate and more dangerous than ever.
The one monkey in the tree, it kept hiding. You could tell it didn't want to get captured. It was trying to do anything in its power to get away from the people.
The animal charges and the panicked crowd scatters. Now the monkey makes another daring attempt to get away. It climbs hand over hand on the open wire. Hardwick moves in with his tranquilizer gun for a clean shot. The monkey hangs perilously. This time, the tranquilizer dart finds its target. The monkey is dazed and fights to hang on. Hardwick waits below with a net.
Watch out, guys. Watch out, guys.
He carries the stunned creature to safety, but the danger is not over yet. Hardwick has been badly scratched and bloodied. He fears he may be infected with the deadly simian virus. Quickly, he scrubs his wounds with an antiseptic foam.
You never know. African monkeys are always suspicious, but until you run blood work, you just don't know.
By day's end, all 3 escaped monkeys are brought back alive. 2 of them are infected with the virus. Luckily, the one that scratched Hardwick isn't.
People say these are bad monkeys on the loose. I don't say good or bad. It's just a situation that I need to deal with, and that's what I do.
Concepcion, Chile, the most terrifying of all animal escapes, has brought police and soldiers to this neighborhood. A lion has broken out of the city zoo and is now cornered in a swamp. The frightened animal is trapped, but not about to give up without a fight. Soldiers armed with tranquilizer guns wade into the murky waters, overcome with fear. This man can't stop shaking long enough to load the tranquilizer dart. The soldier takes aim and hits his mark. The beast is returned to the zoo, but there's no telling when it will make its next attempt to escape. Even the most gentle house pets can attack anytime, anywhere. New York City. A tourist is about to become the victim of a good pet gone bad. Linnea Cohen walks in with her small dog, but she walks out with big injuries.
I travel with my dog quite a bit. He's very happy, and then he's quiet, and, you know, he's a very well-behaved dog.
Linnea heads to the back of the store to buy shampoo. She has no idea that she's being stalked by a cat that's there to keep out mice and rats. But she's about to find out.
This cat just attacked me. Like that. It like flew. It came from a shelf, and I was like close to the shelf, and it just jumped out at me. This cat came scratching at my head, scratching at my face, scratching at my arms. Just wouldn't let go of me and going like that, scratching.
Linnea fights back while desperately trying to protect her little dog.
Cat scratched me here, here, here. The cat mauled me.
Then, as suddenly as it began, the attack is over.
As I turned the corner, the people looked at me and they started screaming, "Oh my God, get the ambulance."
Linnea requires 38 stitches to close her wounds. As these pictures show, this drugstore cat was a prescription for disaster.
The owner of any pet that attacks another person is responsible for that attack, I believe.
Next up, bulls rage out of control at the world's most dangerous rodeo. And a secret shame revealed, a violent sport where horses fight to the finish. Plus, a runaway horse gives a homecoming queen the ride of her life. Then later, a donkey goes berserk and attacks a terrified tourist. And he may be Santa Claus, but not all the reindeer loved him.
I wonder how my mother will bury me. She'll bury me in my Santa Claus suit or what?
When good pets go bad. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It's halftime at the local high school football game. The homecoming queen begins her ceremonial buggy ride around the field. The horse steps proudly, but something is wrong. It's champing at the bit. No one has any idea what's about to happen next. Suddenly, the horse breaks into an uncontrollable gallop. And then, disaster. The horse charges around the track. The homecoming queen tries to hold on, but there's nothing to hold on to. The animal makes a sudden turn onto the field. The buggy rolls over, and the riders crash to the ground. The horse tries to free itself from the carriage, but can't. The rampaging animal drags the terrified driver through the end zone. The homecoming queen gets to her feet, trying to catch her breath. Then she hears screams. The horse is bearing down on her. It rages toward her, trying to shake the buggy loose. The animal barely misses the frightened girl, but it slams into a fence. Then it turns toward the crowd. Finally, the panicked horse gives up. But the damage has been done.
They're a big animal, and you have to be conscious of that size and that power and that strength when you're working with them. It's a tragedy to see them hurt or injured in any way, anywhere.
Rodeos are staged with no regard for the safety of animals. And none are more cruel than these in Tierra Caliente, the hot lands of Mexico. Here, the contests are so vicious, it's no wonder that these bulls are driven over the edge.
In the Mexican rodeos, they'll dig their spurs in to help hold them onto the bull. Rodeo contestants will try to say, well, a bull's skin is very thick. They'll try and make it sound as if the bull can't feel. Fly will land on the bull and you see them start shaking their skin, and they're very sensitive.
This rider is about to learn how far a bull will go to stop the agonizing pain caused when a spur is jammed into its side. The bull tries to shake him, but the cowboy stays on the beast by digging his spurs deeper into the animal's ribs. The bull bucks desperately, trying to get the rider off its back. It charges toward the iron fence, causing the man's head to slam into it. Then it barrels into an open gate. With the cowboy's spurs still stabbing him in his side. The bull aims for the gate once more. The rider is savagely knocked to the ground, but incredibly he survives.
If you attack these animals, if you harass them, torment them, torture them, try to kill them, they're going to try and defend themselves.
When you mess with a bull, you're asking for trouble. This bull isn't putting up enough of a fight, so the rider rocks back and forth, trying to provoke the beast. He should have left well enough alone. No country treats bulls more savagely than Spain. It's no wonder that sometimes these good bulls go bad. In one event, the crowd taunts a confused bull. The poor creature can't stand the abuse and tries to run. It leaps up and climbs into the stands in a monstrous display of fury. As spectators run for their lives, the bull searches for an escape route. It will stop for no one as it tries to get free. The Spanish seaside. A bull is loose on the road. Men torment the beast so they can tell everyone they ran with a bull. But they picked the wrong one. This man jumps off a cliff to avoid being gored. A Amazingly, he survives his desperate 20-foot plunge to the jagged rocks below. The men of this town have been drinking and decide to take it out on a bull. The animal retaliates by charging through their barn. Another bull has been stabbed with a sword. Trapped and in pain, the frightened beast unleashes its fury on a nearby car. Then it turns its sights on another vehicle. The power behind the bull's rage is devastating. Incredibly, it lifts the car off the ground with its horns.
Good bulls go bad because they've got bad people who are doing indefensible, unconscionable, cowardly acts to them.
Almazora, Spain. The locals are playing with fire. It's a barbaric display in which they ignite a bull's horns, turning the animal into a living torch. The terrified beast seems to be begging the humans to put out the fire. Instead, the cowards hide behind bars and mock the bull. When the fire is out, the angry bull returns for revenge. This man is his victim. He's trampled and tossed for 20 agonizing minutes. When the men move in, the bull backs into an alley, taking the young man hostage at the end of his horns. This man was lucky. He escaped with his life. But the videotape serves as a chilling reminder of how cruelty to animals can lead to cruelty to humans. Coming up, horses collide in the most savage sport ever caught on tape. Plus, frightened tourists run for cover when a national park is invaded by a rampaging bison. Then later, it's the nightmare before Christmas. Santa Claus attacked by his own reindeer.
It looked like it was killing him.
When good pets go bad. Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised. The Spanish countryside. A tourist runs into a farmer's field to answer the call of nature. His friends think it's funny to videotape him with his pants down, and even funnier when a curious donkey trots over to investigate. The man tries to fend off the donkey with one hand and pull up his pants with the other. He plays up to the camera, but he has no idea what kind of trouble is heading his way. He's invaded the donkey's territory, and he's about to pay dearly for trespassing. The excited beast charges. The man tries to run away, but he can't. But this donkey isn't out for blood. He's looking for a mate. Now the man is panicked. He's out of breath and unable to escape. He stumbles and tries to get away. Then he makes a last-ditch effort to run, but he's stopped and crushed under the full weight of the 400-pound snorting donkey. The man survives with only emotional scars, but he's learned a painful lesson about the territorial nature of wild animals. Keep your guard up, and your pants, too. When animals are put on public display, there's no telling what they might do. Led by its trainer and circus managers, a bear is trotted out to perform under the hot studio lights of a local TV show. Before the program begins, a producer steps onto the set to pose with the massive animal. But she doesn't realize that it's feeding time. Watch as the bear goes into a frenzy, mauling the frightened woman and swatting her violently to the floor. The circus manager comes to her rescue and she escapes. The circus manager makes a daring attempt to subdue the powerful beast. But the bear quickly gets the upper hand and pins the man to the floor. Now it's a life and death battle. The trainer has only seconds to save the circus manager's life. But the beast won't let go. Finally, the trainer wrestles the bear to its feet. And the circus manager gets away. He was lucky, escaping with only bruises, a cut lip, and a warning. It's one thing to train a bear to perform in a circus. But when you force it into a TV studio and surround it with strangers, the results can be terrifying. Robert Sturm and his family are on vacation, capturing the majesty of one of America's most scenic parks, including its native bison.
We really enjoy seeing wild animals and taking pictures of them, and this is a terrific place to go to see wild animals.
Robert tapes a bison grazing near a lake. But when a crowd gathers, the animal feels threatened. It shakes its head. The onlookers run, all except for one elderly man. He doesn't realize that he's in danger.
You could see the bison pawing the ground and the dust flying up, and it was very obvious that the bison was very upset at this point.
Robert's daughter, Robin, fears for the man's safety.
It was a very frightening thing to see, and you didn't know what the bison was going to do next.
Suddenly, the beast charges at the man, crashing into him and launching him into a tree.
The way the bison threw this man up in the air, and he went so high up in the air, you would not think that this man would survive. Plus, he came down through the limbs of the tree on his fall, and you're wondering, he's just lying there. Is he okay? Is he okay?
Incredibly, the man survives the attack. He runs for cover behind the tree, and the bison, now having reclaimed its territory, retreats.
I think he made his point that I'm a wild, dangerous animal, and that you have invaded my territory, and I'm not going to tolerate that.
Bison may be the pets of the National Park Service, but tourists beware. Don't ever try to pet them. South Korea. Hundreds gather for a sporting event at a horse arena. Some are there for serious betting. Others for the thrill of the competition. The horses are led to the gate. The sound of a gong starts the contest. But this is no horse race. This is animal cruelty at its worst. Here, once gentle horses are forced to go head-to-head. They are poked and prodded and transformed into raging beasts. The frenzied horses rear up, then charge around the ring. The animals fight each other and kick violently.
The horses that took part in this tragic, horrible sport are victims of human bloodlust. They're not bad. They are doing what comes naturally to them in an unnatural setting.
These horses have been tricked into the barbaric brawl. Their trainers have placed a female horse between them, exciting the beasts and whipping them into a frenzy.
this is a terrible sport. My feelings are that this is a tragedy and a very, very sad sport to have happening anywhere in the world.
This startling footage has sparked an all-out campaign among animal activists to put this horror to an end once and for all. When a real-life Santa Claus is attacked by one of his own reindeer, it's the whole town to the rescue.
This is the most bizarre case I've ever been on involving a reindeer and a man.
When good pets go bad. Belfouche, South Dakota. Playing Santa is a full-time job for Jim Emery.
I have a lot of fun doing it. A lot of kids that don't believe in it, by the time I get done, I can get them believing.
You ready to eat some food, huh?
The only thing this Santa loves more than his job is his reindeer, especially Casper.
Casper was a real friendly reindeer. Casper would have been a good Rudolph, he just didn't have the shiny red nose. He was one of my buddies.
But all that changed the day that Casper went bad.
I never in 100 years I'd ever thought he did what he did.
6:30 a.m. As he does every day, Jim goes out to feed his herd.
Come on.
But he forgets that it's mating season and steps too close to Casper's favorite female, Blossom. So Casper goes on the attack.
And he just hit me and run me out of the corral. I stayed on my feet for a long time, hanging on to his horns, just backing up. I just hung on for dear life.
But Jim can't hold off the animal much longer. Suddenly, the angry reindeer grinds him into the dirt. His neighbors, Debbie and Christine Heydrich, hear Jim's screams and rush to his aid.
And I could see the reindeer had Jim down. I could see horns sticking everywhere, and I didn't know if they were through him or what. It looked like it was killing him.
Oh, yes. Ambulance. What's going on? I need your help. The reindeer's got Jim down on the pasture.
By now, the savage attack has gone on for more than 30 minutes.
The adrenaline was going so bad that I never even felt any horns go in me. I was just scared to let go. I couldn't get my leg loose because I had a horn through the calf of my leg.
Jim fears he won't see another Christmas.
It went through my head. I said, I wonder how my mother will bury me. She'll bury me in my Santa Claus suit or what?
Attention Belfouche Search and Rescue. You're needed at the Jim Emery residence south on 85. We have a reindeer on the rampage. It's attacking a subject. Search and rescue. Respond to the Jim Emery residence.
Police Captain Larry Roberdeau arrives on the scene.
151B1 on 1097 out here at Emery's will be out of the car. With all my years of law enforcement, this is the most bizarre case I've ever been on involving a reindeer and a man. Jim was laying on the ground, locked up in the horns, and I had a hold of the horns, and he was dragging both of us backwards. Pulled us like we were nothing.
Nearly an hour and a half into the struggle, more help arrives. But even the strength of 3 men can't contain Casper's rage. Finally, one of the men manages to hog-tie the beast. Bruised and bloody, Jim staggers over to a waiting ambulance. As he's treated for his injuries, Jim gets the bad news. Casper, once the most gentle deer in the herd, has suffered a fatal heart attack.
When they come up and told me he died, it just made me sick. I just had a lost feeling, you know, because he was a good reindeer for everybody. He was a very good animal.
But what's even more shocking than the attack is what happened next.
My dad cooked him up, so that's what we did with him. And he tasted real good.
Although it's Santa's job to know who's been naughty and who's been nice, Jim should have known that when you try to make a wild animal into a pet, you have to be prepared to suffer the consequences. A final warning. When Good Pets Go Bad returns. Animals should be treated with respect. They should never be teased. And must always be given their territorial space. Remember, there's no such thing as a bad animal. It's the thoughtless actions of humans that make good pets go bad.